I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test part 71. The glorious revolution that is on page 31 while doing morning stretching. And if you participate in the morning stretching, at ZWJKURXM. James II's elder daughter, Mary, was married to her cousin William of Orange, a Protestant ruler of the Netherlands. Okay, James II is the brother of Charles II. James II had two daughters, both Protestants. But now his wife got a son, and now there was fear that the next monarch might be a Catholic. One of her daughters, the elder daughter of James II, is Mary. And Mary had married her cousin William of Orange, who was the Protestant king of the Netherlands, or the ruler, let's say, the Protestant ruler of the Netherlands. So another country in Europe. We know that Charles II had come back from exile from the Netherlands, but maybe that is completely unrelated. So the daughter of her brother who was in the Netherlands is married to her cousin who is the king of the Netherlands. And the Netherlands had at least a Protestant ruler. So in 1688, important Protestants in England asked William to invade England and proclaim himself king. So it was 1688 when some important Protestants of England asked the Protestant king of the Netherlands, William, whose cousin was the eldest daughter of King of England, to invade Britain and to make himself the next king of England. Let's start with the morning stretching. We're having the legs standing wide apart, and we're doing the chunk igniter. We're going down and breathing in, and we're breathing out. And we're breathing again in, and out. Again in, and out. Again in, and out. And last round, breathe in. Again in, out, and again in. We're closing the legs, and we're done with the opening exercise, and we're always breathing in through the nose into the chest and out through the mouth. Next exercise, the legs are standing a bit more than shoulders wide apart. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up, and we're breathing out and we're going to the side. And breathe in and out with the rib cage. And again out. And again in. And out into the middle. And breathe in. And out to the other side. And breathe in and out the rib cage. And out. And again in. And out into the middle. And that was first exercise. So in 1688, important Protestants of England asked William of Orange, the king of the Netherlands, the ruler of the Netherlands, who was Protestant, to come to England and overthrow the government and become the next king. While at the same time, his eldest daughter was married to him. Mary was married to her cousin William of Orange. Okay. We don't know who is now the king of England at this time. We know that in 1685 Charles II had died, and it's now 3 years later, so Charles II is no longer king. We don't know who's now king or queen. It could be Mary, the eldest daughter, or it could be the other son or the second daughter or something like that. But it's 3 years after Charles II had died. And Mary, the eldest daughter of the former king, was married to the king of the Netherlands, or the ruler of the Netherlands. And important Protestants ask the husband of the eldest daughter of the late king to invade England. when William reached England, there was no resistance. So he came, maybe with his army or not, to England, and no one was resisting. Maybe because Mary was queen and she didn't give the order. One after another. There was no resistance. James fled to France, and William took over the throne before becoming William III in England, Wales and Ireland, and William II of Scotland. Okay, so who is James? Yes, Charles II had died, but after Charles II, James was king. So Charles II died in 1685, and his son, his brother. So Charles II died in 1685, and because Charles II had no children, or legitimate children, his brother James became king, James II of England. And James II was a Catholic, and now his wife got a son, and they feared that although he had two Protestant daughters, that now the next king after James II would be a Catholic. And so they asked the husband of the eldest Protestant daughter of James II to invade England and take over the throne, which William of Orange successfully did, and who then became William III of England, Wales and Ireland, and also of Scotland, where he was William II, because it were still two separate countries. William ruled jointly with Mary. So Mary was the eldest daughter of James II, the brother of Charles II, and Mary did rule together with William of Orange, the ruler of the Netherlands, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern and Ireland. This event was later called the Glorious Revolution because there was now fighting in England, because it guaranteed the power of Parliament, ending the threat of monarch ruling on his or her own as he or she wished. We're going through the sentence again, and that means what I said at the end of the last part, that it's gonna be, that was not the case. So the Glorious Revolution is not meant about what it is, but more about how it was. We're having the legs standing again a bit more than trying to find apart, and we're breathing in, we are staying down, breathing in. And we're breathing out, and one hand slides down the leg and the other shoulder stays down. And breathe in. And out and taking the arm over. Breathe in and open the rib cage. And out. And again in. And out, back and out. Breathe again in. Out, one hand slides down the leg and the other shoulder stays down. And breathe again in. And out, taking the arm over. Breathe in and open rib cage. And breathe out. And breathe in. And out, breathe in. Now the next exercise, the legs are standing wide apart. We're breathing in. And out, we're going down. We're just hanging down and having only to go deeper down by breathing deep in through the nose into the chest. And by breathing out from the mouth. And in. And out. Again in. And out. Again in. And out over to my leg. Breathe in again. And out. Again in. And out over to the other leg. Breathe again in. And out. Again in. And out, back into the middle. Breathe again in. And out, we come slowly up, round back, and making at the top and backwards, shoulder up. Now we have the feet sitting together and we're doing the last exercise, breathing in, and we're hanging again down. And breathing in through the nose and the chest, and out through the mouth. And again in, and out. Again in, and out. And the last time in, and out. We're coming slowly up. With a round back, and we get the top, and backwards shot round. And the closing exercise. And breathing in and going down. And breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Again in. And out. Again in. Out. Close the legs. And breathe out. And we're having a bit time for some clarifications. So we now 3 Marys. The first Mary is, I'm trying to think who was older. The first Mary is Mary Queen of Scots. She was the one whose husband died when she was whose father died when she was 1 week old, and who then spent her childhood in France, then returned to Scotland. She became Queen of Scotland, back to Scotland, and her husband was murdered. She was accused of having a part in it, murdering, and she fled to England and made James, her son James, to the new king. She gave the throne to James. She went to her cousin Elizabeth I, hoped for help, but Elizabeth I suspected her of wanting to take over the English throne and kept her as a prisoner for 20 years. And after these 20 years, she accused her of wanting to take over the throne, and she was executed. And now another thing, I once said, wait, she was held in a dungeon. I'm pretty sure she was not held in a dungeon, nor in a prison. I think she was held in something more noble, especially than a dungeon, and even better than a prison. She was kept as a prisoner. And the second Mary of which we know is the daughter of Catherine of Aragon and Henry VIII. She was one of multiple children, but only she survived. And she became, after her younger brother, Edward VI, Queen of England. And she's known as Bloody Mary because she was a devout Catholic and she persecuted Protestants. But she did not live long, I think that was it. And then Elizabeth I became Queen, and that is when the part with the Mary, Queen of Scots. And now we know of the third Mary, that is Mary, the daughter of James, the second of England, yes, and the seventh of Scotland. So the daughter of Mary now is James II of England and the seventh of Scotland. And this James had then 2 daughters and a son. No, we don't know. He had 2 daughters. One of them was Mary, the older one, and his wife had a son. And this is now the other Mary, and this Mary was married to the ruler of the Netherlands, William of Orange. And Mary and William of Orange were Protestants, and important Protestants invited William of Orange, the ruler of the Netherlands, to come to Britain and take over the throne, which happened without that blood was shed. And now William became William III of England and William II of Scotland. And there we have the other clarification that we know of another William coming from Europe, but this time from France, from northern France. It was something about France, just I think. From northern France, he was the Duke of Normandy, and in 1066 he invaded in the Norman conquest England, and in the Battle of Hastings he won against the Saxon king Harold. Harold died in the battle, and he became William the Conqueror, and he got the English throne. He declared, no, it was not him. It was Edward, who made the statutes written at Edward VI. No, Edward I. Edward VI was the son of Henry VIII and Jane Seymour. William the Conqueror, and that battle is on the Deux Tapestry, that's 70 meter, 230 feet long, but the tapestry depicted. So it is we have William, we don't know of William II. Well, in a way we do know of William II of Scotland, but not of William II. He was something about France, but I don't have time yet. James fled to France. So the King James II fled to France and William took over the English throne. I don't have time yet. We will continue there with James fleeing to France and the other fleeing. I thank you very much, and until next time.